He wants to put that on show. He wants to do well on the ruck. He wants to compete well. He wants to win ground ball and really propel our team forward. And we value that from Brodie. And as I said, he's now at a club that does value that.
Welcome to the Collingwood Rant. I'm Sly.
And this is the best premiership I've ever seen, Spook.
We're going to do things a little bit differently today.
You should do things a little bit differently today.
I'll take that. Odds and ends. Stuart Dew sacked. You give a fuck?
Nah.
Caroline Wilson apparently predicted it. She's the greatest newsbreaker in the history of news.
I thought you were about to say that Caroline Dew? Caroline, what's her name?
Wilson.
She was caught in the sack.
No. So apparently she's getting plaudits for breaking this news because, she predicts sack coaches every fucking 4 weeks and she's got one right now.
She's never been wrong.
No. The biggest one was the years ago she was going Nathan Buckley and Brad Scott were going to swap positions. So Brad Scott would be coach of Collingwood and Nathan Buckley would coach of North. And she kept pushing that. I
thought you were going back to win the sack thing.
No. And then toward the end of the year she goes, well, that was considered not a good fit. It was like, you're the only one discussing
back in the sack again.
Oh, fuck. Gonna get away from that. Gerard Whateley had a meltdown.
This is one of the best fucking things I've ever seen. For a second, he obviously thought, I'll post this, someone's going to delete that tweet and my life will go back to normal.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly how the internet works.
So the tweet was, is Geelong forward Graham Myers season comparable to that of 7-time Ballon d'Or, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, winner and football goat Lionel Messi.
Grynel.
I don't know, I found that pretty funny.
The whole fucking thing. It just kept going and going and going, and he kept doubling down with his responses about that he's like, he went to Instagram as well, did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
He's found the same picture and he's put exactly the same post but to a different person. It was hilarious stuff. Well done, Waters. Yeah, you've got a place in my heart now.
It's funny that, he complains about fucking being trolled and he sits next to the biggest fucking troll in business.
This is a physical troll as well.
Yeah. Grundy, gone from the Melbourne team. So, just want to point out that the joke at the start of the episode, it's not aimed at Grundy. We're not mocking Grundy, we're mocking Melbourne. There's two different things. So, after fucking Simon Goodwin, the shortest, he's valued here. They dropped him to play forward in the VFL, which is what sort of Collingwood actually briefly tried to do and realised, well, that's not going to work. So, what do you think about Grundy being chopped from the Melbourne? And they look better, without him. And that's not a shot at him. And they said it for fucking years. Gawn's a once-in-a-generation ruck. Why he would be second ruck to Grundy or to before him, Luke Jackson, is just a fucking farce.
And then try to make a forward out of... who did they make a forward out of? Was it they give Grundy the preferred?
Well, they first tried...
Because he looked like some of the highlights was him kicking goals.
Yeah, first they tried Gawn, but then they went with Jackson, then they went with Grundy. So it's like, they don't quite know how it fits. And it's like, fucking Gawn, if I had him as a ruck at my side, nobody else would get close to that fucking position. I wouldn't be doing anything other than letting him ruck.
You can't bring logic to a lot of these discussions.
It astonishes me that he was ever considered second option. Should we go back after Grundy? And that way we can pay Melbourne to pay us to have him back on our books.
Wouldn't that be a convoluted thing?
Well, that would be the way it works, because they'd have to fit it in their salary cap so we could have him in ours.
No, I don't think that's ever going to happen.
No.
But there was talk about he might be traded out to a third club, and then that we'd be paying Melbourne to pay him to play somewhere else. Yeah, that'd be funny.
It would be.
What has Whateley got to say about it?
Well, what do you think about that? I mean, I said it years ago, I wouldn't be giving 7 years to an athletic ruck. And that contract they had him on was insane, and he was pushed out of Collingwood, pushed out of Collingwood. There are reasons which are starting to sort of actually surface in terms of why he's not there. When I meant pushed, it's like the salary cap squeeze was forcing them to start looking at sort of players and who's expendable and all that. That, he's been discovered as well. You know what? He's a really good ruck rover. He's not a really great ruckman. He'll statistically get the taps, but they don't always go to advantage. He's not a great marker around the ground, which is the things you want him to do as a ruckman. As a forward, he's not going to do that either.
I think to an extent, though, Melbourne, he's even lost that capability. But not that I'm watching a lot of Melbourne games. But he's...
Were you outside the ground with Pep? Thanks, Pep.
It was a good time to leave the game. What were we talking about? Grundy?
Grundy as a forward, marking forward.
Yeah, well, yeah, no. All the things that he used to do well, it's been a steady decline. And it's not like we have to rehash ground. I think everyone knows how we felt about Grundy for years. It's not a slight on the individual or anything. It's just his output was not great. People get so wrapped up in those numbers.
Yeah.
You know, or you tap the ball out a lot. Well, fucking, if I stood on a ladder and at a ruck contest, I could tap the ball. I wouldn't be any fucking good at it and hit my teammates. But that's what he was known for, really. I think around the ground stuff, he was good. And look, I'll concede that I think when we signed him back up again, the 7 years thing was, probably ridiculously over the top.
Thanks, Eddie.
But his form at the time warranted definitely being re-signed. I think he was doing enough around the ground as the world's tallest follower.
This is not a shot at Grundy. The club, and I'll point at the former president, Eddie Maguire, they knew what the salary cap situation was going forward into that deal. And I've said this before, that you've lost Grundy, Aish, Treloar, Stevenson, Phillips, Beams, Reid, Varka, all these guys, all senior guys going out who have been on decent to really high money, and we're only seeming to get salary cap under control. Okay, that was fucking ridiculously overstuffed then, obviously. And for them to go, okay, let's do a 7-year deal at $1 million or whatever it was.
That was wrong.
If they knew that was coming, that's when they should have, somebody at the club, which they've done lately, but somebody at the club at that time said, we've been out of the top rounds of the draft. And I said they should have floated it to Adelaide at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying this retrospectively, but they should have said, he's got fucking value now. We've got a bit of a salary cap squeeze. Let's float him around, get 2 first rounders at the least. Adelaide would have paid 4 because they're insane. And we'll fucking replenish with some really good quality youth, and we'll still be at the top end. And we fucked that. So and the thing too on the salary cap management, this is what people don't realise, is okay, you got Dan McStay as, your key forward.
Comedy relief.
But you got him as a key forward.
Oh, did I get that wrong?
Yeah. If they had room in the cap, they could have really went heavily after someone like a highly recognised, like McKay or something last year. But they couldn't because the salary cap is just so fucked up, or has been so fucked up. For about 5 years, they've been trying to get under control. So that really pisses me off. Port Adelaide rested about 28 players going into their clash against Carlton. Carlton's beaten up all these really mediocre teams and suddenly they're back.
Well, they're a flag chance now.
Yeah.
But do they not know that we've already won the flag?
We'll go into that a bit later.
Oh, okay.
So Port rested half the team this week against Carlton. So...
If only you knew what the joke was.
Yeah. Well, Carlton's apparently going to win the flag now. So they've smashed 3 mediocre teams and Port with half their list out.
Yep.
Was Port resting players in preparation for us, or they genuinely saw... Kane Corns said that the next month's going to be very vulnerable for Port because they got a lot of sore players. They play a really crash and bash style also.
Yeah, well, I think my initial view when they announced that they were dropping 74 of their list, that they were setting themselves up for a big crack at us. But there's a few of them that they've said, I don't think are going to be ready again even next week. So maybe they're looking at that long game about, well, we get these guys back on the park in a couple of weeks' time. We might drop 1 or 2 games, but we'll be fresh for a crack at the end.
Well, it helps that Brisbane lost, so that sort of gives them a little bit of space.
Yeah, well, it puts us now a game clear of Port. We're a few games clear of 3 and 4, I think, aren't we?
Yeah. 4 we're miles ahead. So that goes into us playing them. How do you feel we'll go against them?
Well, Brazzy said we'll smash them because we've already won the flag.
Actually, I got to say, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that he sort of came out, and he wasn't trash talking, he was just saying, come and bring it on. I really liked that. It showed some confidence in the playing group and all that sort of stuff without getting too cocky.
What happens if we get smashed by 84 points?
Oh, good. You go back to it and go, well, we weren't good enough, we've got to get better. But look, we've talked about this before. The club doesn't, historically, I don't talk about premierships because it's almost like if they speak it aloud, then it curses it or some shit. I'm actually liking to just say, you know what, fucking, we're here, we've earned it, bring it on.
Yeah, the wording there was good, yeah. That whole thing about we've earned it, that was good. He did say that, didn't he?
Yeah, he goes.
Words to that effect.
No, he says something like, we're on top for a reason.
That's it. Yeah. He didn't say we earned it, though, did he?
No, I can't remember.
Oh, you're fucking making shit up now.
I think he said something about
Well,
the prayers, the
why
training.
don't you go now
and
to
pause.
drive to Channel 7 and get a job? Making shit up
No, well, because I got one at Footy Classified. Go
in
on.
the sack.
No. So that was good. So how do you feel going to this game? So they were, I reckon, until the last few weeks, they were I think the best form team. They were
Port,
playing, they were playing consistently.
I thought you meant Carlton now because they're a flag threat now.
Well, they got West Coast, so I imagine they should win that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you talk to Carlton supporters at the start of the year and said, would you take 4 in a row?
They take that.
They'll take that.
They take a lot of things, in the sack.
Yeah. So Port, playing them, how do you feel? We're
Pretty good, thanks. How are you?
We're still going to lose by 10 goals?
Oh, we'll lose. Absolutely going to lose by 10 goals because we're playing over there. The home ground always wins by 10 goals. Look, at the rate we're going now, we should win this, I think, with their outs as well.
So
I don't know whether that'll be a statement or not. I think a couple of weeks ago, this was that start of the run home that we play Hawthorn as the only probably even thinking Hawthorn matches
They've been
up
pretty
well against us.
competitive,
So with all 5 games in, is it 5 we got?
I don't know.
Have we done any research?
No.
5 games. Let's say it's 5 games home or 6 or whatever the fuck we're playing because we played Bombers and someone else. Geelong and something Carlton.
Yeah, Carlton.
And Cats and then
University.
Cradle and the Silver Spoon.
Yep, so
we're playing all them. So it's going to be a challenging run home. Now, despite the fact that we've clearly won the flag this week again, you're going to get to that?
Yeah.
I think we'll know a lot more about where we're at over the next couple of weeks. And this was always where, looking forward, that point starts, I think.
Well, I think the good thing, going into the start of the year, the first 6 rounds were actually difficult and people were going, we'll look at 3-3. And we had, I think, 5-1 out of that. So I say, looking at the Fremantle match, the first quarter was pretty even. We sort of dominated the first 10 minutes of it or something, but then they came back. It was 4-1 to 3-2. Mm-hmm. And then you get that second quarter.
10-goal blitz.
Yeah. So that second quarter...
I heard air raid sirens. Did you hear them too?
Well, the second quarter we kicked 10 goals, 1. And they kicked...
Who's the fucking wanker who kicked 1?
I think it was Nick Dacos.
Oh, can we get rid of him?
Yeah. And they kicked 2-1. So...
But we just was that like sympathy ones? Do we?
Yeah, but if you take that,
do we all stand on our hands for a minute?
If you take that second quarter out of it, for the rest of the game, we kicked 8-4 to their 8-6. So they outscored us for the rest of the game.
So they won the game.
They should have won the game. Now I know, we went into cruise control. We were just sort of taking it easy and all that.
Yeah, I heard the Eagles were playing over the speakers at the ground.
The West Coast Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know, we weren't really... the intensity wasn't there and the motivation was there for us to dominate. But for me, I still find it frustrating that we play that sort of lackadaisical football at times when we feel, we've got the match won or whatever the case might be. Second quarter, though, was awesome to watch. And we just did as we pleased. We just ran through the centre. Everyone was having a go at it. It was the best probably you've seen us play under McRae for
a brief period.
In the 18 months, yeah. Best quarter.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I would think so. But you've got to really look at the opposition, though. Wouldn't you put that sort of...
Why would you bother with that?
Well, your best performance really should be against real quality opposition because it's easy to be bullies to weaker things. I would say, look, it's a very good quarter. I think if you were to perform that against the top 4 side, you'd be skitzing, you'd be freaking, you'd be doing all those sorts of things. But really all we did was beat up on a weaker kid. But I'm not taking anything away from it. It's still fucking good. But look, I think you've got to put some of these things into context about how you rate particular moments in games.
Oh, look, you've got to keep perspective. So you're beating a side whose form is spasmodic. They might have played finals last year, but this year they've been up and down, and they've shown at times when you push them, they really struggle. But in terms of what does that mean for us in terms of the flag? Did we win it? Did they give it to us at the end of the game?
Well, I think we already ran it the week before, didn't we?
Oh, well, I think we've been winning it
every week.
But you'd take that, wouldn't you?
Well, how many flags we won this year?
Oh, fucking 18 at least.
You must just walk into the club rooms now, just tripping over silver everywhere.
Collingwood, they just trip over in it. Anyway, is it the best Collingwood team you've seen in the modern era? Because that was what's going around social media. It's the best.
No, well, there's a lot of these strange comparisons. No, I would have thought the 10-11 side would bury this one in a heartbeat.
I wouldn't.
You don't?
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't think it. I'd know that.
You know, I think the 10 and 11 side's the best side, but that's because across the board it had monsters in every position.
Yeah.
It had a times 4 midfield for a start. I think we have now 2 elite players in the midfield and 2 probably low A graders. But the 4 that ran around in 10-11 was dynamite. The forward line, you had the Twin Towers. We just still lack a dominant forward. Look at
this side.
This side currently reminds me a lot of the 18 side, where everybody's bopping up and they're making the most of their scoring opportunities. But you just feel a lot stronger when you've got a big combination of key forwards that you can rely on when it matters.
You go back to the 2-10-11 squad. So that Cloak, who was a father son, but he would have been a top 10 pick. Lee Brown was pick 6. I know he sort of probably never fulfilled the potential I expected, but he played. He had quite a bit of presence and helped players stand taller and played a really important role. Chris Dawes is about pick 30, but in the couple of seasons there, he was playing really well. He would have been like a top 20 pick. He went for a top 20 pick. Reid and Brown picks 8 and 10. So you got like all his top 10 picks there, and then the midfield, Swan went pick 60 or whatever, but he'd be a top 10 pick respectively, and then Ball pick 2, and Pendle's pick 5, and Daisy pick 2.
Dids was a high pick.
Dids was pick 3. And then I was going to say up forward, you had guys like Leon Davis, Didak. You had Paul Meadows who couldn't get a game in there. Heath Shaw down back. Guys like Lumumba and Tuvey. Tuvey was really good on bigs or small. So both of them actually were, and they both had a lot of really good dash out of defence. And you had guys like Sidebottom, who was a pick 11. Beams is a pick 29, but would be respectively worth a top 10 pick. Of this side, like when I look at it, Nick Dacos probably, I'm thinking, but I might be projecting, is I don't think there was anyone as freakishly brilliant as Nick Dacos in the 10-11.
That's the one standout difference.
Yeah, and Darcy Moore was a really good fullback here. We probably didn't have that sort of... But I think Bruce Reid actually got pretty close. Ben Reid's not Bruce Reid. Ben Reid got pretty close in those couple of years.
Not Bruce Banner?
No, Bruce Reid was the cricket player. Anyway, but Cloak, like the other end, he was sort of the counterbalance there. Cloak was the best key forward for quite a while in the game. So you sort of... You got like a nullification act there. But then I think the 2-10-2-11 side had a lot more genuinely really good classy players, whereas this side just, it's good, but there's a lot of sort of things I'm thinking, like I want to see these guys do it in finals, not just do it in the home of the way when everyone's up and running.
That's going to be the big litmus test. Yeah, and you look at sides like with Hawthorn's dominance and all that sort of thing, they had a lot of shortfalls, but they were just an exceptionally well drilled and skillful side. I see aspects of that with what's running around now, and that's stuff that you can look towards as a positive, and they're the things that with a bit of luck and then hitting the right side on the day, you can go far.
Yeah, I mean it's on the day,
and the competition at the moment is a bit.
It's in the transitional period where you've had the Richmond side sort of go out of their contention. Melbourne should have had like about 3-4 years, and they haven't done it. They've been problematic since that flag, and then the Bulldogs are underachieving. And then you get, on the extreme end, you get the North Melbournes and that who are still building. Sydney, I don't know. And Geelong, I know Geelong's been up there, but I think the only year they really genuinely were a chance was last year. The other years they're up there, but you never really felt they were going to win it. You felt like they were one of those preliminary final sides who always got there but just weren't quite good enough. And this year, it's open. And Carlton's the other one who should have come up and they haven't come up yet.
The thing is too, like I said, the next 5 weeks or so is telling. You look at the fucking performance that Geelong dished out against the Bunglers. Now, admittedly, they're playing on their own. What is it? Newton DNA,
whatever it is,
inbred paddock. And they always do well there, but that was a clinical performance. That was very reminiscent of the grand final demolition. Whether that's just a one-off or whatnot. Well, but that's the thing I think you got to be mindful of, is it's a side that's struggled all year, that clearly has the fucking senior talent. If they're now sitting 5th, I don't know whether they can. They can.
They need
just
results
crack
and all that sort of. They need results and all that, but They play a lot of
But
games at home.
And like what Scott said is, he goes, we see ourselves as a bit of a
danger.
a danger. And I think I wouldn't put a line through them. Look, we've done well against them, but I wouldn't be going in confident against them at the moment either. If I'm sitting here and I've got I'd probably, if Port had a full side, I'd be nervous about next week. Geelong, I'd be nervous about playing. Who else we got?
Brisbane.
And we're playing at Marvel.
Yeah, that was the other one we forgot out.
I don't know whether that means we can't trade on that MCG hoodoo thing that they've got going. But there's quite a few, like even the Blues are playing, even though they've beaten nobody, they'll live for us. I don't go into any of these feeling brilliantly confident.
No.
And I think if I'm not feeling brilliantly confident facing a bunch of sides that we're more than likely going to face in the finals, there's going to be something about that. Why am I feeling that?
I reckon one of the big problems at the moment is they're experimenting right now, but they need to work out who their first ruck, Collingwood, needs to work out who their ruckman is. You can't have this fucking freeway share between Cox, Frampton, Cameron, and then this week also McStay rucked. One of those guys got to carry load. For me, it would be Cox. Cox is the best of those ruckmen. I like Frampton, I like Cameron, but geez, Cox actually plays with attitude, and I wish the other two would play like that also. They might have it in intensity, but they seem pretty relaxed. You still don't know about Johnson. He's played about 12 minutes in the last 2 weeks. He's kicked 6 goals out of that. Great. The other 80 minutes is a really problematic thing. You got to bring Mychek. He's the one who'll definitely come back in. They don't know what their best forward setup is. I think Frampton has to go down back, especially if you're playing these sides like Brisbane, Geelong, who have these 2 key forwards, and the other side's Carlton and all that. You're going to need Frampton to take one of them, like you took Tom Lynch earlier in the year. So I don't think they even know what their best side looks like.
No, there is a lot of, and there seems to be a lot of forcing certain players into that side now and hoping it's going to click. Yeah, I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, where some of the reasons why we became so dominant towards the arse end of 10 was having to cut ties with some of the older heads that weren't pulling their weight. We seem to be doing some opposite at the moment. We want Lipinski in there, but he's not really performing.
He's really struggled.
Howe we want in there, but he's not really performing. Do you really want to take these guys that may or may not do something into the finals? I would have thought we would have been better off maybe. It's a harsh thing, but you've got to start thinking about the future at some point. It's lovely to be nice and go, well, I'd love to get you a flag, mate, but the reality is you could cost us a flag. If you're not going to pull your weight on the day, and that's a gamble. I'm just not sure whether I don't see that we're not going to deviate from that. We clearly have in mind players that towards the end of their careers that we want to ensure a part of the success we're striving for.
I look the really good comparison there. I think is Oleg Markov has really improved each week. He fits the game style and all that. On the flip side, you get Hoskin, who you're going to get from him. I know people fucking complain that we criticise him. And it's like, and then he does one thing. It's like, oh yeah, great. So how do you criticise him? It's all because the other 96 minutes he wasn't really doing that much. With Markov, he probably went from look, you're just filling a spot to this is really hard now to drop you, and I think Markov can play that Hoskin Elliott role, which is running around for 90 minutes, not unsure what you're doing. But Markov actually seems to offer you a little bit more. He's a little bit quicker. Hoskin Elliott's probably a little bit better overhead, but in terms of, Markov has his own tools now. He has a booming kick and all that sort of stuff. So, looking to the future offers you stuff. The Howe one, I'm not sure. Lipinski's really, really struggled. He's done the things in little bits and pieces. I recall that last year, McRae said he's our best runner, and I think, I don't think that would be the case now. I think that would be Nick Dacos would be your best runner. Lipinski has missed 3 months, so he's obviously trying to catch up. So they really need to work out who's going to be in that side. Like I said, Mychek's got to come back. Cameron is available. I mean, you can't totally put your pen through Jack Ginnivan because we know he can play. So they've really got to work out what's the best makeup, and they've got to do that without sentiment. Because if they really just sort of rely on what's come before, well, we know that's not necessarily the way to the future because it did fail last year. Culturally, what do you think it does for this club and this side to have so many people right now celebrating the flag like it's in the bag. You have media experts like Kane Corns and David King saying it's ours to lose, which actually just puts more pressure on us. But now you're getting supporters just basically saying, look, we're going to win it, we're going to win it, we're going to win it. I mean, has that ever come undone for Collingwood in our history?
That's my biggest beef with a lot of this stuff is you can't take any of this like it's just going to happen. We don't have a history of this thing ever just going to happen.
No.
We're good at winning prelims. We're good at pushing our way through a final series, making a prelim, having this out of the fucking world performance, and then falling off a cliff the week later. And that makes me a little bit nervous as well. Look, I don't really want to go through this again. I've done this more than enough times in my lifetime. Now, I want them to be in that position and fucking win. Now, look, internally, they may think that they're... And I would sincerely hope that they think that they're a fair old crack. You sit at the top of the ladder, what are we, 13-2 or 14-2 or whatever it is this week? We deserve to be there because we deserve to be there. You've ticking all the boxes. Your performances have been very, very good. But I still think that all that now, it's almost redundant coming into...
It is redundant.
This 5-6 week stretch. And not only that, you're going to play these guys once, you're going to more than likely play them again in the finals.
You're going to play 3 finals.
It gets really fucking tough from here. And we're shielded a little bit by the ladder position and you know, we can't tumble down too far. But I would think if we lost every game, you know, for the next 6 weeks, and a few results went the other way, we could fall down to the lower end of the 8, not the lower end of the 8, lower end of the 4. It's just like, it's not a fait accompli that we're top of the
you can fall into an uncomfortable position in that
it's unlikely, and you know, you don't want to be a panic merchant or anything like that, but I just, just fucking stop the crowing. Let's just get there, and then let's be impressive when it counts. Not just fucking project outwardly that it's all fucking wonderful and it's done. I just don't get it. I can't understand as Collingwood supporters, and I assume that they're people who watch us are Collingwood supporters, aren't they?
And Caroline Wilson.
And Caroline Wilson in the sack. That you've been through this before. The caution card. Look, as I said to the old man yesterday when we were talking about this, that at best I can consider myself at this stage optimistically cautious. Cautiously optimistic? I got it around the wrong way. Like Caroline Wilson. I want to feel confident. I feel confident. At the same time, history was going to dictate that none of this stuff is fucking easy to obtain. And you need everything to go incredibly right. You look at the way that our side dramatically changes when Dacos is on the bench for those extended periods. We go into struggle mode. It's just how much fucking drive one 19-year-old kid gives that side. And you're only 1 or 2 injuries away from cataclysm. And I hope I haven't fucked the world by saying that out loud. But it's just... Things are going beautifully. We're getting all these players back. Things can equally go quickly. It's too early to be crowing about stuff. And the media, I think the media a lot of the time set it up so they can fucking gloat about how right they were without remembering what they fucking said a couple of weeks earlier. They'll happily fucking stick the knives in just as quick as they'll say everything's going rosy at Collingwood, it's theirs to lose. And you do wonder whether that's a little bit of a psychological dig at the club too, because I don't think Kane Corns wants to see Collingwood do well. I don't think David King, he's probably a little bit in...
I think he probably just genuinely admires football.
Yeah, but I don't think he cares whether we win it or not. I think you probably like to reinforce your own opinion that you called it early, and that ended up being the case.
When you call 28 things... Look, in my lifetime and your lifetime also, 1970, 44 points up at halftime. You lost that one. 73, I think, we were 2 games clear on top. We bombed out in straight sets, and I think in one of the finals we were 7 goals up when we lost that one. 77, this is true, 77 we were 5 goals up at 3/4 time. The administrators came on and started congratulating the players. That's not an urban legend, that's actually true. They did that, and then we drew that and then lost the replay. Historically, we've been in winning positions and we've fucked it. 81, going into the last round against Fitzroy, a game we should have won, we dropped at home and then we went from first to third, lost that 1 week break, which was pivotal to the final 5 at that time, and then we had to make the grand final the hard way, and then by the time we got there, we were fucking spent. We keep doing this, and then still, I go back to 2010. 2010, I remember winning that, and that's when I was actually on message boards and shit, and I was saying, and people were ripping into me, I was going, if this is the only thing this squad do, it's the only flag they do, then I'm going to be fucking disappointed. People go, just enjoy it. And it's like, I don't want to, I've seen this before at Collingwood. I don't want to win a flag. I want to set us up for dynastic success. And I think a big part of that is fucking attitude. When you get people running around celebrating before anything's been achieved, it totally undermines the drive of the club, because it's like, why strive for greatness when fucking people are commending you just for existing? And people, the younger supporters, don't realise that we have this horrible history. And this is the fucking thing that kills me, is your grand final record is 15-27. You keep losing them. What is that? Just fucking really bad luck? Or is there a reason that happens? People who don't study history are condemned to repeat it.
Yep.
And this club keeps repeating it. Now, I'm not pointing this at the current board or the current coaching staff, because their journey is ahead. But I'm just saying the supporters should fucking know better. And 2-11, there was so many people, and it was pissing me off. So many people going, oh, it's back to back for us. It's back to back for us. It's like, fucking hell, you got to get there first. And you just got there. And there was all this shit going on. And you had a fucking really strong team in Geelong contending against you. But everyone was just accepting it was going to happen. And it's like, well, did it? No. It's, if you've reached the destination before you had to actually make the journey, then why would you ever fucking do the hard yards of the journey to get there? And this is what frustrates me. And like, I want to see the fucking club succeed. Like, you know, people say I'm negative or passionate, but for me, I have supported this club for, 40 years actively. I look at this fucking club, and every time we're sort of up there, I think, okay, is this the one time we're going to the club's going to be rebirthed into something bigger than what it is? And then going to the Hafey era, I thought, just win one of those and win a few. Didn't do it. The 90, walking out of the ground, like I was thinking, we should fucking dominate competition for the next 5-6 years. We've got a young squad. Didn't do it. We actually imploded after that flag. When Malthouse got us there in 202, I thought, yep, again, this is the fucking chance. Rebirth the club. Didn't do it. 210, won the flag. Should have dominated the next 6-7 years. The club, Eddie McGuire, I remember for making the worst mistake in the club's history. He was sacking Malthouse at a fucking time. Everything was going perfectly.
But then started dismantling him 2 years later.
Yep, didn't do it. We keep doing this, and it's like, you're going to keep doing it if everyone else keeps perpetuating the same behaviour. And they're likely to, because at Collingwood, we are great for fucking existing. And I'm fucking sick of it. I want to follow a club that's greater than its fucking hype. But for all my time following us, we've been hype. And fucking very little is based on accomplishment. And when you talk to people, back in the 80s, like, we're on that 13 flags. It's like, I don't give a fuck. You won 11 of them in the first 40 years of your existence. It's always like, we're better than St Kilda. I hate that. I hate when they compare us down. It's like, we're better than the shit club. Great. That's how Roger Federer became such a great tennis player. He kept saying, I'm better than fucking Todd Woodbridge.
Well, he was.
He was, but it's like, that. What's the point of going any further if that's your comparison?
Yeah, the one saving grace for me is I think Fly's conducting things a little bit differently. And I really hope that internally that's having a greater influence than it's ever had in the past. Because seriously, you would have had to have walked into the club on day one and just looked at everyone and said, I'm calling out the bullshit. This fucking belief that you are hitting a bit has to stop. We reset, we go forward from here. And, the results are making them walk tall. The supporter base surely is fucking leaping taller. I just hope internally that there's a lid being kept on it. And that overreaching discussion every week is, we just beat a side on the weekend. The next week is what we're looking at now. I don't really think for a second that they're going, fuck the flags, ours. But I do worry about, like what you said, the external forces do have an influence on the weaker parts of the club, and it starts, getting sucked into its own hype again, which is what it's done time and again.
Remember, just so I can interject, in '99 when Eddie McGuire became president, one of his big fucking platforms was, we accept defeat too easily at Collingwood. 15 years later, he's saying it's not all about flags. So, and I know that's a 15-year journey, and there's a lot of shit that's gone on in that time, but that totally, his attitude inverted. It went from it's about success to it's not about success. And I'm not saying this is happening with McRae and that. Like, I actually think it's like poetry, because when Lee Matthews was coaching, getting us to the flag in '90, he just kept saying, we're just concentrating on the next week. And McRae has his own version. He goes, we just play the minutes. And it's ironic that McRae played under Matthews. And Matthews, after Collingwood won the flag, he admits he didn't rein him in early enough. And by the time he did rein him in, Darren Mullane had died, and there'd been sort of some shit go on behind the scenes, and the club was never quite the same. When Matthews went to Brisbane, he corrected every mistake he made at Collingwood, and he kept them up there for 4 or 5 years, and then he won 3 flags in a row, and they played in 4 grand finals, and McRae was part of that. So there's a symmetry to that.
You'd be beneficiary of some of that.
Yeah.
And you would hope in your heart of hearts that from time to time he's on the phone to Matthews to talk about things.
Well, it's not on the phone to me.
But you've got a well of information there. Not only that, if you've got a very successful coach that you played under, and that to a certain extent probably externally mentored you a little bit on your journey as well when the requirement was there. But you've got a fountain of information about what the fucking club and how it functions was like. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That you'd be tapping into to say, well, what's the things to be wary of? What would you expect? What did you experience at that time? And he can use that to bolster his message to the club. I mean, for me personally, to be quite simply is each week, going up to hopefully you make a grand final. Your message is simply, you've done nothing yet, but you could.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. That you haven't achieved what we've set out to achieve yet. At that final fucking siren, when the grand finals won, then you can fucking acknowledge that you're good. Then you can acknowledge that you won the flag, and then the fucking supporters go ape shit. But up until then, you've done nothing. All you've done is win a game, and you hopefully you win another game, and you're winning everything to take you closer to obtaining that prize.
No, look, 100% agree. I'm so fucking tired of the bluster that fuels this club. And the moment you try and call it out, people criticise you for being negative or shit like that. And like I've gotten that a lot, you being negative. No, I'm fucking being realistic. I'm fucking sick of... It's like you go back to 2021 and, fucking well, shit came to the club and you had people on social media and you fucking know who you are, like, oh, no, we'll be fine next year. How the fuck could you think you're going to be fine off that shit? So if that was your perspective, that after you unceremoniously pushed 3 players out the door who didn't want to go, not a single one of them wanted to go, you had a fucking messy divorce between Buckley and Treloar, that you didn't think that was going to impact the playing list, and the playing list would be fine the following. If you thought that, how can your opinion ever be trusted as fucking, realistic? And this is the thing, is like, every time I look at something about how do you make something better, it's like, that's what I'm looking at. It's like, no, I'm shitting on this. It's like, fuck, you got to make this better. You got to fucking get better than what you are, because it's great to be good, but if you're good, you're standing still. You got to go to fucking next level. And that's what I want to see this club do, which is why I sort of always worry about like only playing a quarter here or waiting on comebacks and letting fucking clubs dominate us for 25 minutes and shit like that. So I'm always looking like, we've got to do that better. You can't rely on those Houdini acts all the time. Instead of fucking relying on a 5-goal comeback or whatever, just get fucking 10 goals ahead and just, then you can do what you did against Fremantle and cruise for a half. But, you got to play the minutes, as fucking McRae says. So, like, I had McRae, Lepich, Bolton and Skipworth and company, they understand that the Collingwood side, the Collingwood club, it's a fucking beast. The movie Nixon by Oliver Stone, there's a scene where Nixon talks to some college kids, and this is meant to have really happened, but they talked to Nixon about why haven't you changed things, and he just talks about government being a beast. It's really hard to try and tame. And that's like what I think Collingwood is. Once you put people in there, they go with the best of intentions, but it's a fucking beast. And a lot of them just sort of go, well, it is what it is.
It's easy to fall back in the habit, and that's the bit that concerns. But yeah, I'm sincerely hopeful internally it's different. Some of those, the signage and imagery as you walking out of the club, it says the right things. I think they're consciously trying to address it. I think, and this stuff's been on social media as well. But there's clearly a push there to what's the word? I don't actually fucking know what the word is. It's strengthening, I guess, that base of keeping everything quiet until you've done something. Every day is an opportunity type thing.
Oh, every day is like, it's refocusing on what's fucking important, and rather than letting yourself get carried away with the shit. And this club's constantly from top to bottom. I mean, you heard in '90 when we won the flag, McAllister started mouthing off. Eddie was just always mouthing off in some way or another. They lose focus.
Yeah, the bluster's always been the biggest issue.
Yeah, and fucking celebrate the moment, celebrate winning, great. But then it's a reset. It's not celebrating the flag on July 18th, 19th. And we've been, I had people doing it earlier. It's not saying, hey, I can't wait till we get the finals in 6 weeks. You might lose the next fucking 6 games. So worry about right now, this moment. It's not even worrying about next week's game right now. It's worrying about fucking what they're doing in this moment, which is training or whatever, planning. And don't look past this fucking moment.
I mean, that's in terms of we talked about this the last couple of weeks. Is you only need to go back as far as last year. You had these fucking months of Herculean efforts and getting over the line by a kick.
Yeah.
It didn't fucking help one iota in the finals.
No.
The complete opposite happened. So it's a different fucking beast finals.
And also just going to that, it's like I always go on about fucking letting those leads slip. And, we get, we're winning. Well, you let a lead slip against Sydney in the prelim. Did you win that? And I had a conversation with someone else, and this fucking really pissed me off. He goes, well, we only lost by a point. You fucking lost. Whether you lost by 1 point or 101 points, you know what? You're not in the grand final. The grand final's not judged on the extent of your loss. If you lose, that's it. You're out.
Yeah, there's no the team the following week fails to turn up that you go and look back at the one that got closest.
Yeah. Oh, they got 1 point. The other one's lost by...
Give them a shot.
Yeah.
They were close.
Yep. And fucking, you're in a results-based industry.
Yep.
Not fucking an industry which is qualified by margins and shit. So, look, and that's not to criticise, like I said, not criticise the current administration and coaching group. I liked a couple of years ago, Paul Licura was coming out and saying, we've only won 2 flags in 60 years. I wish we'd said that. Wish we might have said that to him one day. But anyway, saying stuff like that, I really like that, he has that focus of, we need to be better than what we've been. I always say, like, people talk about Collingwood being a great club. You're not a great club. You're a club with a great history. But in the modern era, you've done as much as the Bulldogs, which is win 2 flags in like 60 years.
Oh, it's like that saying that I love to say. In my lifetime, I've seen 2 Collingwood grand final wins. I've also seen 2 Collingwood grand final draws. If draw is a rarity, what does that make our wins?
Yeah, that's it.
It comes down as simple as that. Look, I've seen way too many fucking losses. It's a problem that was deeply rooted in the club. Not only the failing to sort of perform on the final marker. I think the biggest one was that even those 2 moments you're successful, how quickly you imploded.
Although
and
the instruments of their
self-destruction was the platitude.
Yeah.
And like you won 1 fucking grand final, great. There's plenty of sides that win 1 grand final. Yeah, the ones that we all talk about are the ones that build dynasties.
Yeah, the Hawthorns, the Richmonds, Geelongs and all that. I think we've had the opportunities twice to do so. I don't think the 218 squad was really ever quite going to be a dynastic terror, particularly with the salary cap being the way it was, forcing them to expunge players. But I fucking 100% agree, and the people, when you mention that, like, you've only seen 2, there's going to be someone sitting there going, but St Kilda's only seen 1. And it's, again, why compare down? Yeah, and Hawthorn's seen 12. Which one do you want to compare yourself to?
And even, like, in some extent, like in 2010, we won the flag beating a club more tragic than ourselves.
Yeah. Well, that's what I always make that story, fucking, like, the footy guys would have been watching that game, the first one, going, fucking Collingwood, St Kilda, who do we make win? I can't decide. Let's just draw it and fucking think about it over the week. And then over the week they've gone, no, let's let Collingwood win, And I'll say one thing about that draw too. Brendan Goddard's mark to put him in front is one of the fucking best marks you'll ever see in the grand final. It's a lot better than Jezelenko's. And it's not remembered. Why? Because St Kilda lost. And that's what happens to fucking losers and drawers. Any final thoughts?
No. We do want to see them win a flag, though. Just to be clear. No, not really. I think we go out and we win this week, and then we think about the following flag. Yeah, that's right.
All right, that's it for us. We'll be back later.
Catch
later.
We won the flag,
Keep doing it this year. It's like a sign.
I know. You'd
take that, wouldn't you?
I had lunch today, and I was beset upon by a bunch of magpies and they all hopped up to the table about this far away from the food I had on the thing, and I thought, this is an omen. It's a freakish event. And then one of them died.